Welcome back. Safeguarding the environment from degradation remains a collective responsibility of all Nigerians, including individuals and corporate organizations. Speaking on the topic, today's Apples, Perspectives of an Environmental Toxicologist, at the inaugural lecture at the University of Lagos, Professor Adebayo Otitoluju recommends systematic monitoring as part of efforts to protect the environment.
Our technological advancements and exploitation of natural resources have enhanced human survival and sustained exponential population growth through the ages. The consequences associated with the exploitation of these resources are a clear signal of an impending danger. There is therefore the need for the modern man to play its additional role as a protector of the ecosystem. The perspectives that I have provided are simply a podium call to members of this audience to pick up the challenge, become an environmental toxicologist, and defend our common heritage, the environment.
And from the environment, we move on to sports. Here's Ayo Tunde Balogun.
Yes, indeed. The Nigeria Basketball Federation, the NBBF, has confirmed that D Tigers skipper Olumide Oyedeji has withdrawn from this year's Olympics in Rio. Oyedeji made the revelation on social media today, citing personal and family reasons for his decision. The 35-year-old, who has been part of the national team setup for about 20 years, helped Nigeria qualify for its maiden Olympics appearance at the London 2012 Games. He also led the D Tigers to win the 2015 AfroBasket Championship. In football, Sunderland boss Sam Allardyce will be confirmed as England manager in the next 24 hours. Reports say Allardyce will be ratified as Roy Hodgson's replacement at the board meeting of the English Football Association tomorrow. Allardyce and Hull manager Steve Bruce emerged as the two main candidates to take over from Roy Hodgson. Hodgson stepped down after the 2-1 defeat by Minos Iceland in the last 16 of the Euro 2016 Championships in France. Portuguese Football Federation has confirmed that coach Fernando Santos will remain in charge of the national team until after the next European Championship. The 61-year-old led Portugal to its first European title with an extra-time triumph over host France in Paris earlier this month. Portugal will begin their 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifying campaign on September the 6th against Switzerland in Basel. The interim head of UEFA, Spain's Angel Maria Villa, wants to run for the presidency of the European governing body in the September the 14th election. Villa has been acting head of UEFA since October 2015, when Michel Platini was suspended from all football-related activities. Villa was one of the founding members of the Spanish Footballers Association and the FIFA vice president. The Pakistan Cricket Board has bought 4 bulletproof buses as part of efforts to convince other teams to visit the country without any security fears. Countries have avoided coming to that country, Pakistan, since 2009, when gunmen attacked a bus carrying Sri Lankan cricketers, injuring 6 players and even killing 6 security personnel and 2 civilians. The incident has forced Pakistan to play their home matches at the United Arab Emirates, starving the country of international cricket.
PB has invested in 4 buses. These are all armored to B6 level, which is to say that they are sturdy and solid and will protect players who travel in them from any form of attack. The reason for this is that we are seriously planning to invite some foreign teams to Pakistan, and this is one of the requirements that we should provide the best possible security for them. This is a good sign because this means that once all our security arrangements are in place, we shall be able to give the required assurances to foreign players and foreign players associations and cricket boards that the best possible security will be provided to foreign players when they come to Pakistan. This has been a belated decision, but it's now here, and the buses are here, and inshallah, as I said, we expect to see foreign teams touring Pakistan in the very near future.
Ilnur Zakarin has won the first alpine stage of the Tour de France after using a late attack in the final climb, while race leader Chris Froome increased his lead in the overall standings. Zakarin was part of a breakaway that formed early in the 184.5 kilometer 17th stage from Bern to an artificial lake in Switzerland. After Rafael Machka and Jarlenston Pantano moved away from the leading pack on the descent of the Col de la Fauclaz, the Russian cyclist caught them and launched a furious attack on the last climb with just 6.5 kilometers left. And that's a wrap in sports news. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Ijoma will be back with the rest of the news at 10.
South Sudan has warned the African Union against sending a planned deployment of troops without its permission. Earlier this week, leaders at the AU summit in Rwanda agreed to deploy regional troops to South Sudan following recent fighting at the beginning of the month that left more than 200 people dead. Soldiers from the AU force are to come from Ethiopia, Kenya, Rwanda, Sudan and Uganda with a mandate to impose peace. The South Sudanese army spokesman said that any deployment of a foreign force that's not authorized by the political leadership is going to be resisted. And the purge continues in Turkey as President Tayyip Erdogan makes good his promise to deal with anyone who had anything to do with last Friday's failed coup. The country today formally charged 99 generals and admirals, just under a third of the country's 356 top military officers. As soon as it became clear that the coup had failed, the purges began, first with the security forces, then spreading to Turkey's entire civilian infrastructure. Human rights group Amnesty International has warned that the purges are being extended to censor media outlets and journalists, including those critical of government policy. More than 50,000 people have been rounded up, sacked or suspended since the weekend. They are from the Education Ministry, the Finance Ministry, staff in the Prime Minister's office, even the police. And in the aftermath of the controversy surrounding a speech made by the wife of the Republican Party's presidential nominee, Melania Trump, there's been a startling revelation after it. Now, Meredith, an employee of the Trump campaign, admitted her role in writing the speech read at the National Convention. She said in a statement earlier today that this was my mistake and I feel terrible for the chaos I've caused. She said Mrs. Trump had read out passages from Mrs. Obama's 2008 speech in a phone conversation as they discussed people who inspired her. In her statement, she wrote that a person like Mrs. Trump has always liked Michelle Obama. She had offered to resign, but her decision was rejected by the Trumps. Again, the federal government today approved a new agriculture policy as part of measures to achieve food security for the country. The Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Audugbe, said the document, titled Green Alternative, stipulates measures aimed at developing the sector. Also today, the Senate called for the immediate release of funds to tackle cases of malnutrition at IDP camps in the northeast. The lawmakers also summoned the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, to appear and brief lawmakers on the state of the nation's economy. Well, that's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks so much for staying with us. I'm Ijoma Hunyato. Do have a good night.